In the year of 184, the once powerful Han dynasty would be pushed to the verge of destruction by a rebellion led by 3 doctors. Why did this happen, and how did the Han dynasty get into this situation? It was the mid-100s, and the Eastern Han dynasty was thriving. The Han was a golden age of stable inner governing, and it had expanded greatly in trading. However, this mighty dynasty will soon perish. During the later years of the Eastern Han, many emperors became corrupt and gave out heavy taxes. Some emperors were also dumb little kids whose decisions were controlled by empresses and men with no privates, aka eunuchs. When Emperor Huan of the Han died in the year of 168, everyone was very sad because he was 1 year off of a nice year. Well, except for the empresses and eunuchs. When Emperor Huan died, his crown prince took the throne, and he was 12-year-old Emperor Ling. Emperor Ling was a very weak and corrupt ruler, and his reputation was further damaged when a major flooding of the Yellow River happened. Many people's crops were destroyed, and famines broke out throughout the country. But the imperial court still taxed the poor farmers and peasants harshly and punished them if they did not pay their taxes. As a result, the farmers and peasants began to hate the emperor and the government. Between the year of 170 and 183, a man named Zhang Jia began to gather followers along with his 2 brothers to rebel against the Han. Zhang Jia and his 2 brothers, Zhang Bao and Zhang Liang, were religious doctors who founded a Taoism religious group. They cured people by confession of sins and faith healing, usually curing people who could not afford to pay. Zhang Jia realized that the Han was mistreating the citizens and decided to start a movement against it. Because he was a doctor and was popular among the peasants, he easily spread the news about his movement via a slogan. The slogan was, 苍天已死，黄天当立，岁在甲子，天下大吉. The English translation is, the azure sky is already dead, the yellow sky will soon rise. When the year is 甲子, there will be great prosperity under the sky. He encouraged many people to graffiti the 2 words 甲子 on buildings, especially government buildings. Slowly, many people began to join Zhang Jiao's cult. Several foreign tribes, such as the Xiongnu, gave their support to Zhang Jiao. Once he had a massive amount of followers, he decided to make a move against the imperial court and attack officials. He sent a man named Ma Ranyi to go to the capital to meet with 2 eunuchs, Shi Feng and Feng Shi. Ma Ranyi was friends with the 2 eunuchs, and Zhang Jiao wanted him to secretly tell the eunuchs to help collaborate with his movement. Ma Ranyi successfully convinced the eunuchs to help the rebels, and they set the surprise rebellion date to April 3rd, 184. However, Ma Ranyi and Zhang Jiao got a curveball thrown at them. A man named Tang Zhou was left out in the plans of the rebellion, so he betrayed Zhang Jiao and Ma Ranyi and reported their actions to the authorities. Ma Ranyi was ripped apart by horse chariots, and hundreds of suspected conspirators were arrested and executed. Zhang Jiao realized that their plot was exposed, so he told all his followers to make a move instantly. Between February and March of 184, thousands of peasants rose up and attacked imperial officials. Zhang Jiao gave himself the title of Lord General of the Heavens, or Tiangong Jiangjun. His brother Zhang Bao was dubbed Lord General of Earth, Digong Jiangjun, and his youngest sibling Zhang Liang was called Lord General of the People, Rengong Jiangjun. The brothers gathered 360,000 followers under their command and threw China into utter chaos. Emperor Ling was terrified. When he approached his court for suggestions, his butcher uncle He Jing suggested that he promote him to general-in-chief and appoint 3 veteran generals to lead imperial forces to destroy the rebels. The 3 veterans were called Lu Zhi, Zhu Jun, and Huang Fusong. Emperor Ling agreed and promoted He Jing to general-in-chief. He Jing ordered Lu Zhi to deal with Zhang Jiao's main army in the north, and Huang Fusong and Zhu Jun to deal with other rebel armies. Now I will list out the battles that happened. In You province, some rebels killed the provincial inspector and the administrator of a commandery. A colonel named Zhou Jing led imperial forces and crushed the rebels with the help of Liu Bei, a later founder of the kingdom of Shuhan. In the fictional book Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Yellow Turban officers Cheng Ranzhi and Deng Mao were causing havoc, but were all slain by Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Zhang Fei. Liu Bei would also go on to slay Gao Shen, another Yellow Turban officer. In Yu province, the administrator of Runan attacked rebels led by Bo Cai, but was soundly defeated. Zhu Jun arrived with reinforcements, but was still defeated. The imperial court sent Cao Cao to assist Zhu Jun. Cao Cao, Zhu Jun, and Huang Fusong combined armies and crushed Bo Cai. When Bo Cai attempted to flee, Zhu Jun and Huang Fusong pursued him and killed him, causing his rebel force to disperse. Huang Fusong and Zhu Jun then cleared the Runan area of other rebel armies. Fun fact, when the Yellow Turbans rampaged in the area, 7 subordinates of the administrator of Runan armed themselves with swords and attempted to fight the rebels by themselves. They were all quickly slaughtered. After the Yellow Turbans were suppressed, Emperor Ling honored the 7 as the 7 virtues. In Ji province, Lu Zhi's well-trained army was achieving many victories against Zhang Jiao's peasant forces. He easily isolated Zhang Jiao's army and besieged him. However, after the eunuchs falsely accused him of treason, the emperor removed Lu Zhi from his command and forced him to return to the capital as a prisoner. The imperial court then ordered Dong Zhuo to take over Lu Zhi's former position, but Dong Zhuo did not manage to destroy Zhang Jiao and retreated. Huang Fusong then replaced Dong Zhuo and continued to besiege Zhang Jiao. Zhang Jiao died while under attack by Huang Fusong, and his brother Zhang Liang took command of the followers. Huang Fusong could not overcome Zhang Liang, so he tricked Zhang Liang into lowering his guard. Then at night, Huang Fusong surprise attacked and soundly defeated the rebels. Zhang Liang was killed in action, and most of the Yellow Turban army was annihilated. Huang Fusong had Zhang Jiao's body excavated and decapitated. He then sent the dead leader's head to the imperial capital. Huang Fusong was promoted to the Left General of Chariots and Cavalry because of his success. Later, Huang Fusong attacked Zhang Bao, the only Zhang brother who was still alive, and killed him. Many of the rebels under Zhang Bao surrendered. In Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Zhang Bao was killed by his subordinate Yan Zheng, who surrendered to the Han. In Nanyang, a massive rebel army led by Zhang Mancheng took over Wancheng. A colonel named Qin Jie rallied locals and killed Zhang Mancheng before an army led by Zhu Jun arrived. Even though Zhang Mancheng was killed, the Yellow Turbans still continued to base in Wancheng. Zhao Hong became the new leader in Wancheng and put up an intense defense. However, Qin Jie, Zhu Jun, and reinforcements from Xuqiu managed to kill Zhao Hong, and the rebels' morale was damaged. After Zhao Hong's death, Han Zhong rallied the rebels and continued to resist. Zhu Jun pretended to attack the city from the southwest while he secretly infiltrated into the city with 5,000 troops. Han Zhong retreated into the city and wanted to surrender. However, his request was denied by Zhu Jun. Zhu Jun pretended to lift the siege, and Han Zhong tried to make a run for it. Zhu Jun caught up with Han Zhong and killed most of his men. Han Zhong surrendered, but Qin Jie executed him. Yellow Turbans led by Sun Xia tried to fight back, but he was slaughtered by Zhu Jun and his army dispersed. In Shi and Yang province, Cao Qian, Zhang Ba, and Sun Jian suppressed most of the rebels in the area. By early 185, the rebellion was mainly suppressed. However, there were still smaller Yellow Turban remnants that continued to rebel throughout the following decades. Different bandit leaders also rose up to form their own armies. After Emperor Lin's death, Guotai created an army of 100,000 bandits and dubbed themselves the White Wave Bandits. Dong Zhuo sent his son-in-law, Niu Fu, to defeat them, but he failed. Later, when Emperor Xian fled for Luoyang from Chang'an, Yang Feng, Li Rui, Han Xian, Hu Cai, and other White Wave bandits gave their support to the emperor and protected him from the pursuing forces of Li Jue and Guo Si. In the year of 188, a man named Ma Xiang declared himself emperor and led Yellow Turban remnants to raid Mianzhu in Yi province. A man named Jia Long led local forces and defeated them. In the year of 189, Zhang Rao and Guan Hai gathered Yellow Turban rebels and attacked Kongrong at Beihai. Taishi Ci assisted Kongrong and managed to secretly seek help from Liu Bei in Pingran. Liu Bei sent 3,000 troops to attack Guan Hai, and Guan Hai was killed in a duel against Guan Yu. Later in the 200s, Shi He and Sima Zhi ravaged Qin province, but were demolished by Xia Houran, Zhang Ba, and Lu Qian. Around the year of 192, a swarm of Yellow Turban rebels attacked Yan province. Liu Dai, the inspector of Yan, tried to attack the rebels, but he was killed. Cao Cao was invited into Yan by Liu Dai's subordinate Bao Xin. Cao Cao later defeated the rebels and received their surrender. He picked out the best warriors and formed an elite military unit called the Qinzhou Army. Bandits under He Yi, Liu Pi, Huang Shao, He Man ravaged the Runan area. In the year of 196, Cao Cao led his forces and killed Liu Pi, Huang Shao, and He Man. He Yi surrendered but was executed. Other Yellow Turban forces in the area, led by Gou Dou and Wu Ba, continued to resist. A general named Li Tong killed Wu Ba, but Gou Dou allied with Liu Bei and attacked Cao Cao. Later, Cao Cao personally led an army and defeated the alliance. Liu Bei fled south, while Gou Dou's rebels dispersed. Little rebellions in the Yang and Jiao provinces were suppressed by Liu Zan and Zhu Zhi, respectively. In Changsha, a bandit named Ou Xin formed an army. Sun Jian, the newly appointed administrator of Changsha, managed to defeat Ou Xin's generals Zhou Chao and Guo Shi and annihilated Ou Xin's bandit force. In Liaodong, Zhang Chun and Zhang Zhi rebelled and allied with a Wu Huan tribe led by Qiu Li Ju. Zhang Zhi declared himself emperor to challenge the reigning Han Dynasty emperor. The Han sent Liu Yu to deal with the rebels. Liu Yu recruited some Wu Huan people of a different tribe and created a huge army. The massive force quickly defeated Zhang Chun's forces. Zhang Chun was later killed by his own men. Zhang Zhi committed suicide and Qiu Li Ju fled. Han Sui, Ma Teng, Bian Zhang, and Qiang tribes started a rebellion in Liang province. Huang Fusong was dispatched to attack them and defeat them, but he did not achieve any success and was fired after getting slandered by eunuchs. The rebels managed to hold back imperial forces and held their territory until the year of 209, when Cao Cao destroyed their alliance. Even though the Han managed to suppress the main rebellion, the government became very weak due to the costs of war. To make matters worse, Emperor Ling soon died, and another child emperor took the throne. With the corruption of the eunuchs and the political struggle between empresses, eunuchs, and political regents, the Han soon crumbled, and various warlords rose up to reunite the land. Because of the Yellow Turban Rebellion, people realized how much disastrous consequences greed, selfishness, and neglection can cause. Many infamous talents and heroes such as Cao Cao, Ran Shao, and Liu Bei may not have created armies and showed the world their capabilities had there not been the Yellow Turban Rebellion.